There are moments in history when darkness finds a face, when hatred finds a voice, when an entire civilization, educated, cultured, and proud, hands its soul to a single man. This is that story. Austria, 1889. A child is born in a small border town, unremarkable, quiet, forgotten by fate, or so it seemed. But inside that child burned something dangerous, a rage without reason, an ambition without limit, a hunger that no ordinary life could ever satisfy. His name was Adolf Hitler, and the world would never be the same. By the time he was 20, Hitler had failed as an artist. Rejected twice by the Vienna Academy of Fine Arts, he wandered the streets of Vienna, bitter, broke, and burning with resentment. He slept in shelters, he sold postcards to survive, and in those cold, desperate years, he absorbed the poison of the age, anti-Semitism, nationalism, and the dream of a pure, powerful Germany. World War I gave Hitler his first sense of purpose. He served bravely on the Western Front. He was decorated. He belonged for the first time in his life. Then came the defeat, the humiliation of Versailles. Germany stripped of land, pride, and power. For Hitler, it was not just a loss, it was a betrayal, and he swore someone would pay. The 1920s in Germany were chaos. Inflation so severe that wheelbarrows of cash couldn't buy a loaf of bread. Unemployment, desperation, fear. Into that vacuum stepped Hitler, now a hypnotic speaker with an iron will and a burning message. Germany was not defeated. Germany was stabbed in the back. The crowds roared. The Nazi Party grew. And in 1923, Hitler attempted to seize power by force, the beer hall putsch, and failed. He was arrested, sentenced to prison. The world thought he was finished. They were wrong. In prison, Hitler wrote Mein Kampf, his blueprint for world domination. He emerged not broken, but more dangerous than ever. Through the late 1920s and early 1930s, as the Great Depression crushed Germany, Hitler's message found millions of desperate ears. He promised jobs. He promised glory. He promised that Germany would rise again. On January 30th, 1933, Adolf Hitler was appointed Chancellor of Germany. Democracy died quietly that night. Within months, Hitler dismantled every institution that could stop him. He burned the Reichstag. He banned opposition parties. He imprisoned enemies. He rewrote the law. By 1934, he declared himself Führer, supreme leader of the German Reich. An entire nation, 70 million people, saluted one man. The world watched, and the world did nothing. Hitler remilitarized the Rhineland. He annexed Austria. He took Czechoslovakia. Each time, the Western powers stepped aside, hoping appeasement would satisfy the beast. It never does. On September 1st, 1939, German tanks rolled into Poland. Britain and France declared war. The Second World War had begun. For 2 years, Hitler's forces swept across Europe like a fire that could not be stopped. France fell in 6 weeks. Norway, Denmark, Belgium, the Netherlands, all conquered. It seemed nothing could stand against the Third Reich. But Hitler's greatest strength, his absolute certainty, became his greatest weakness. He invaded the Soviet Union. He declared war on the United States. He fought on every front, against every power at the same time. The tide began to turn. Stalingrad, El Alamein, Normandy. One by one, the walls of his empire crumbled. By April 1945, Soviet forces surrounded Berlin. The city burned. The dream of a 1,000-year Reich lay in ashes. Deep in his underground bunker, Adolf Hitler, the man who had plunged the world into the deadliest war in human history, took his own life. He was 56 years old. Behind him, he left 60 million dead, a continent in ruins, and a wound in human history that has never fully healed. The rise of Adolf Hitler is not just a story of one evil man. It is a warning, about what happens when fear replaces reason, when hatred finds a microphone, and when good people choose silence over courage. History does not repeat itself, but it rhymes, and it is always watching.